nightly
at 6:30 and 10:05 on Fox 13.
An early morning fire destroys a condo building in Orem. Why residents say all isn't lost.
Plus, he made national headlines after the arrest of a nurse went viral. Now, Jeff Payne says his former boss was in the wrong for how they handled it.
And his business has helped many LDS missionaries look their best. Now Utahns are remembering the life of Mr. Mack.
And we continue to warm up, but is it the warm up before our next storm? I'll let you know in the forecast.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 5.
Our top story at 5, investigators in Orem still don't know what caused a fire to destroy a condo building on the 44 North Garden Park Drive. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Schnee.
And I'm Kirsten Nunez. Thankfully, no one was hurt in this fire, but now several families are without a home. This afternoon, Fox 13's John Franke spoke to a woman who is now finding a silver lining.
This building is condemned after the early morning fire ripped through it. You can see the roof is entirely collapsed. We met one resident who, despite this massive loss, is finding a way to stay positive.
They said, fire, fire, get out.
That's the panicked warning Doris Schoenfeld received around 3 a.m. after a neighbor knocked on her door as flames burned out of control.
What do I get? You know, I was almost in shock. So I just got out with clothes on my back, basically.
As crews from Orem, Provo, and Pleasant Grove arrived.
See if you can grab a water source and assist with ladder 33 on setting up over there.
The fire had taken on a life of its own.
We do have the roof all the way collapsed in on the Bravo Charlie corner.
Dora has called the condo home since 2005.
The flames were pretty high.
Now with the smoke cleared,
The building is condemned.
Dora can only look on in disbelief at what's left.
I have some very special things in there.
This isn't the first time she's had to be strong through a tragedy.
I've lost 2 sons and a husband. Now I've lost my home.
Dora hopes she'll be able to get back inside before the building is demolished so she can salvage some mementos.
I hope I can get those photos back. But that's life.
As she wonders what's next,
Concern, how long will it take? Will I be without a home for a year?
Dora is thankful this loss wasn't greater.
Everyone got out with their lives. Everyone. No one. One unit was vacant, but everyone got out, thanks to good neighbors.
Everyone is safe. That's the one fact that truly matters.
Life goes on, and we try to stay cheerful and hopeful.
The Red Cross is helping those families who are displaced. Orem Fire estimates the damage at $4 million. In Orem, John Franke, Fox 13 News, Utah.
New tonight, Utahns are remembering the life of Mr. Mack, Mack Christensen. Christensen was the founder of the Mr. Mack clothing store and the former president of the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Former Utah Senator Orrin Hatch and Governor Gary Herbert expressed their condolences in separate statements today, calling him a living legend who helped outfit generations of businessmen and LDS missionaries. Mack Christensen was 85 years old.
Okay, we're introducing a new member to our Fox 13 team, Brian Schnee.
Good to be here.
Happy to have you.
Now, you came from Medford previously, but originally you're from
The Northeast, yeah. Some nice colors out and about here. Reminded me of home a little bit. Yeah. So 'tis a good time to get here.
You've been here about a week and a half?
Yeah, kind of getting those roots in. Excited to be in Salt Lake City.
And a wild first week weather-wise.
Yeah, we'll make that introduction for sure. Of course, we have the roller coaster rides here in Utah. Temperature-wise, that's what we experienced here over the past few days. Slowly climbing out of this cold spell. Beautiful day, though, across the state. As we showed you a view from southern Utah, Moab. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. And yeah, those vibrant colors really coming through. Kind of getting more to that, just that ideal time. A little problem with that webcam there, but still able to see the skyline there across Cache Valley. Hiram Reservoir, also a beautiful day as well. Here are your current temperatures, still finding temperatures below normal for our afternoon highs. About 10 degrees below normal. Still hanging on to the 50s though. Logan through the Wasatch Front, even down through Provo. Currently 56 degrees in Price. 60s though in Manti as you make your way over towards Cedar City. Really nice range of temperatures though across the south where St. George, currently you're at 73 degrees. Now, as we have been breaking out of this cold spell, high pressure helping out with that. As we're looking at clear skies right now, and it will remain clear for the overnight hours. But even as we get those clear skies overnight and cold temperatures, still we're holding on to a little bit of haze. Air quality diminishing just a little bit, but not too bad. As we look for your hour-by-hour forecast for the Wasatch Front for the rest of the afternoon into the evening, we'll be cooling off into the 40s by 8 o'clock, low 40s as we look towards the midnight hour. As you can see, though, sunny skies and then moonlit skies as we head into the evening. Keeping it clear for now, but we do have some storms to talk about, plus a nice warm-up ahead of that. Those details in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Breck. We'll see you soon. New at 5, a former Salt Lake City detective who was at the center of a viral controversy 2 years ago is now suing the Salt Lake City Police Department. Salt Lake City police fired Jeff Payne in 2018 after the arrest of Alex Webbles, a university hospital nurse who refused to allow Payne to draw blood on an unconscious patient. Now, this video attracted nationwide attention, and now Payne is suing his former employer for breach of contract and wrongful termination. Payne is seeking more than $300,000 in damages in this suit.
A South Jordan woman is accused of sexual misconduct with 2 teen girls involved in her LDS Young Women's Group. Court documents say police began investigating 41-year-old Cammie Chestnut after a mother told officers that Chestnut molested her daughter and got her drunk. Chestnut is also accused of having a sexual relationship with another girl when she was 16. That was dating back to 2014. Chestnut is now locked up in the Salt Lake County Jail. An Uber passenger behind bars after allegedly transporting nearly 11 pounds of meth during a ride. Provo police arrested 22-year-old Edgar Esteban Ramos Valdez after his Uber driver was driving erratically. A canine officer ended up finding a bag of drugs on Valdez. He's been charged with possession of illegal drugs with intent to distribute.
A man is facing possible DUI and fleeing charges after crashing his car into another vehicle and starting a fire in Magna. This all happened at the intersection of 7200 West and State Route 201 overnight. Police say it started when a West Valley City officer saw a vehicle run a red light. So that officer pursued the car, but later gave up because of how fast it was going. Later, other officers in the area saw the vehicle going northbound at 7200 West at a high speed before it T-boned another car. The driver got out and fled into a field, but police were able to arrest him.
He ran that red light and caught the officer's attention, right? Obviously driving recklessly and having disregard for anybody else's safety out on the road.
Police say the man's DUI charge may end up as a felony because the driver of the other car was sent to the hospital for a broken leg.
A woman is dead after a 5-car crash in Washington City. Utah Highway Patrol says this happened yesterday morning at State Route 9 and Telegraph. Troopers say a Ford F-350 ran into stopped traffic in that intersection and crashed into a Mazda hatchback, causing a chain reaction crash. The driver of the Mazda, 20-year-old Kylie Park of Riverton, was pronounced deceased at the hospital. Everybody but the pickup driver was wearing a seatbelt.
Crews in Wasatch County say a fisherman's car took a dive into Deer Creek this weekend. Quite the story here. Crews say yesterday afternoon, a fisherman had his car parked on the bank of the creek at Sailboat Breach. Well, suddenly the fisherman's car started to roll, so he ran to his car to open the door. But get this, the door handle broke off as the car went under the water. Crews say they found the car 96 feet underwater. At last check, they still have not been able to get that car out.
Utah Supreme Court says opponents of ballot initiatives do have a right to try to get you to change your mind. The state's top court published an opinion this weekend explaining their decision to kick the initiative known as Count My Vote off the ballot last year. The initiative that lets political candidates gather signatures to get before voters is already law, but they sued the state, arguing it's too tough for a citizen referendum to get on the ballot and too easy to be removed. The court says the law works fine, but the justices weren't all in agreement.
Still to come, the race is on to save lives after a building collapses in New Orleans. What crews are working to do to prevent more damage.
And a controversial rule from the National Park Service allowing ATVs in its parks takes effect next month. See how some Utah lawmakers want to push back against that call. We're back in 60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Robert Christian, local owner of Renewal by Anderson. We make window replacement an easy process from start to finish. Get peace of mind with our exclusive FiberX materials, endless color and style options, and one of the strongest warranties in the business. Right now, take advantage of our late season savings sale. Get free installation plus no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Call today.
Renewal by Andersen. We love our new windows.
There's no taco like the Del Taco. Made with fresh ingredients, hand-grated and sliced daily. With double the shredded cheese and double the seasoned beef. And now, double the taco. Get 2 Del Tacos for just $3. The Del Taco. A taco only Del can do.
Getting a loan at DLC will be one of the quickest stops you make all day. We can have you in and out the door in about 30 minutes. To really speed things up, bring your ID, pay stub, and a recent proof of address.
This is Fox 13 News.
In national news, a deadly wildfire ripping through northwest Los Angeles has forced thousands of people from their homes.
Now, officials say the Saddle Ridge fire is 19% contained as of Saturday morning, though it's already consumed more than 7,500 acres and destroyed more than 30 structures. Meredith Wood has the latest.
Plumes of smoke rising from the San Fernando Valley. Crews battled the Saddle Ridge fire from the air and the ground on Saturday. The inferno consumed more than 7,500 acres since it broke out late last week. High winds fanned the flames and sent embers flying. Surveillance video shows them falling like snow.
I saw all these embers flying towards my house. It was the scariest thing ever. Honestly, I started crying.
Thousands were forced to flee their homes, many all too familiar with the danger quickly spreading around them.
Not my first rodeo, unfortunately. 2008, I lost my home there. Lost everything I own there, but I was, again, very fortunate to have enough time to get all my animals out then.
Residents emptied out as neighborhoods filled with smoke. More than 400 LAPD officers manned evacuated zones to prevent looting. In some areas, residents have been allowed to return to their homes only to find they've lost everything.
I just paid off my house last month. I made the last payment, and I was so happy that my house is paid off. I don't have to worry about the payment anymore. But this happened.
The strong Santa Ana winds that fueled the fire are expected to die down over the weekend. But authorities say the fire threat remains high and urge residents to stay alert. Meredith Wood, Fox 13 News, Utah.
In downtown New Orleans, at least one person is dead and several are injured after a building partially collapsed. It happened at a Hard Rock hotel that's still under construction by the famous French Quarter. Crews have evacuated nearby buildings and blocked off several city blocks to control that situation.
The building is unstable, so a collapse is still possible. Further collapse of the building. Our biggest fear right now is the crane. It's 270 foot, so the reach of that crane, if it were to come down, has a tremendous amount of weight on it that works to support the crane as it stretches out, the cantilever weight.
At least 3 people have not yet been accounted for. It is not known what caused that collapse.
After several days of being in the dark, almost 800,000 people in Northern California have their power back on. The California utility company PG&E intentionally cut power to nearly 800,000 customers Wednesday. And this was all an effort to avoid sparking a wildfire that was caused by high winds downing live power equipment.
Since Wednesday, Turkish officials claim they have killed more than 200 terrorists, referring to Kurdish fighting forces that have had U.S. backing. The Turkish offensive already displaced about 60,000 Kurdish people from their homes, and that could double over the next few days. President Donald Trump is keeping a close eye on Turkey, and he's threatening that sanctions could be coming.
And here in Utah, Kurds say they cry when they watch the news and see what's happening to their people in Turkey and Syria. New at 5, Fox 13's Brian Champagne takes us to their gathering and protests this afternoon.
Turkey is enemy of the United States. Utah Kurds are rallying.
We feel obligated to show our support. That's the least we can do for them.
For their homeland, which is not a country.
The Kurds are more than 40 million people in the Middle East. The largest in Turkey, the second largest in Iran and Syria, Iraq and Syria, and part of Soviet Union.
From Turkish military action.
They want to create ethnic cleansing.
Of the 100 or so people who turned out today, most were from the Kurdish region living in America. But there were also Americans who've lived in the Kurdish region. Peter Goodman says he was deployed to the area the first time with the U.S. Army.
I went back because I wanted to support the Syrian Kurds and the democracy that they're building and the progress that they're making on human rights and gender equality and women's rights, protection of ethnic and religious minorities.
And Freeman Stevenson fought with Kurdish forces.
I was on the front line of Syria for 10 months fighting ISIS. There were no U.S. troops around us.
The Americans who died fighting ISIS died in the YPG.
They need us. There's kids that are being killed. As a mother, I can't just stand home and not do anything for them.
They say the Kurds have been the good guys with the U.S., and if Turkey takes them out, if we allow the pro-Western democracy in northern Syria to fall to the Turkish invasion, we'll likely see a resurgence of ISIS, a resurgence of radical terror. Their call to action?
Ask their congressman, senator, and the White House to put pressure on Donald Trump not to allow Turkey to do further massacres and slaughtering of the Kurds.
Brian Champagne, Fox 13 News, Utah.
The Moab City and Grand County councils are looking at banning ATVs in national parks. The consideration of this resolution comes as the National Park Service is looking at allowing ATVs and UTVs within the parks. The idea is favored by the state representative for San Juan County, which includes Canyonlands National Park. But Moab political leaders who have both Arches and Canyonlands in their backyard appear to have problems with noise coming from the vehicles and ruining the park experience. An emergency meeting is scheduled Tuesday afternoon to discuss this resolution.
The new Islamic Center of Kuwait in Utah is hoping to become an important part of the South Ogden community. The city hosted an open house today, inviting the public to come eat, ask questions, and explore the facility on Harrison Boulevard. Organizers say they want their neighbors to understand what they have to contribute and help people correct the misconceptions they have about Islam.
It's to serve the community. A lot of people, like you said, do not know much about Islam, and what they know, it is absolutely the wrong image of what Islam is. We want to be able to go ahead and present Islam and show it the true message of what it is.
The Islamic Center also has a large Islamic library that is open to the public. If you missed today's open house, organizers say they plan to host many more in the future.
Thousands of dogs and their humans were at Liberty Park today for the annual Strut Your Mutt fundraiser. Best Friends Animal Society has hosted this event since 1996. The goal is to help Utah and the rest of the country get to no-kill status by 2025. This year, organizers had a goal to raise $180,000. Best Friends says Utah is doing better than many states, but there is always more we can do.
I would love for everybody, when they think about getting their next pet, to think about adopting a pet, either from a rescue group or a shelter, and really consider donating.
For more information on how you can get involved or where you can donate, head over to fox13now.com. I do love seeing all those dogs in the costumes. It's so cute.
Nice day for them, too.
And it keeps them warm, especially this morning. I know Breck was at a soccer game early this morning and
early morning, 9 o'clock. It was in the 30s. Yeah, we had a definitely winter coat on. The pets, of course, with their coat of fur, definitely needing that. Throughout the afternoon, things warming up just a bit. We're slowly working our way out of these cold temperatures. A beautiful day, though, statewide. Keeping it clear, a lot of sunshine giving in view, though, as we turn towards St. George, where right now your temperature 73 degrees. Hardly any winds. Boy, that's a great combination there for fall in the Dixie area. Northern Utah, yes, it was a better day as far as temperature-wise, getting into the upper 50s versus yesterday. We were in the low 50s, and definitely, as I said, we're making our way towards warming things up and seeing that progression as we look here for the next few days. But let's reflect back again, the roller coaster ride we've been experiencing here last 7 days. Last week we were in the 60s, enjoying it, getting up into the 70s by Tuesday. Cold front hitting Wednesday night through Thursday. A 35-degree swing. Again, on average, we should be about 67 degrees, at least in Salt Lake City. Yesterday in the low 50s, today upper 50s. And we're returning back into the 60s. Let's see if we can find and make another day in the 70s. High pressure, though, one of the reasons why it's been clear, mild currently, as that high pressure in place, allowing for the moisture to stay north of the state, giving us a break. Couple of the storm systems to look at. This one's fairly weak. Another one, as we look towards the northwest, this has an associated cold front. But as we look at the models, this storm is going to split most of the energy digging southward and actually avoiding the state. But let's look long range in preparation for the upcoming week. Some of you making plans for UEA weekend, what you can expect if you're doing any traveling throughout the state, especially towards southern Utah. All right, let's take a look. Again, high pressure in place. There's that little storm system. It slides southward as we transition from tonight through tomorrow. and there's not a lot of moisture associated with this, so there's not any concern here. As you can see across the state, there's no greens or blues, not seeing the precipitation, but we'll keep it under a westerly, northwesterly flow, which will keep temperatures, well, warming up slightly. Actually, tomorrow we're back into the 60s. And then once we transition into Tuesday, high pressure setting itself up once again. That'll allow for a southwesterly flow, and we will be returning to the 70s, at least along the Wasatch Front, 80s towards the Dixie area. But our eye moving towards midweek, towards the end of the week, a couple of storms. The first one with the cold front actually pushing north of the state. As you can see, most of the showers, including rain and snow, staying in Idaho through Montana, northern Wyoming as well. It's the second storm behind it, bigger, as you can see, just enveloping the northwest, pushing through Idaho. Cold front does hit late Friday through Saturday. That'll change things up towards the second half in the UEA weekend. Saturday and Sunday, at least across northern Utah, we could definitely see some showers. Right now, the model is showing it's not going to be as cold, so mainly seeing rain in the valleys, snow in the mountains. Now, for tonight, it's going to be clear and cold, not as cold as we've been experiencing, but still 30s or close to freezing temperatures. Teens, though, in Park City, 20s, Vernal and Price, low 30s in Moab. Tomorrow, bump it up 10 degrees. How about upper 60s in Salt Lake City? Enjoying the 60s in Provo as well as in Price. 70s through Richfield, Moab as well, and upper 70s in St. George, where you see the sunshine here for the next several days. That storm that hits for the weekend, it'll drop temperatures, but we'll keep it actually fairly dry even as we look towards next weekend. And for northern Utah, 60s. There's our 70-degree temperature on Wednesday. Thursday, we bring in some clouds. Friday to Saturday, we start seeing additional clouds and a threat of showers again for the weekend. But the Thursday, Friday for UEA weekend, not bad across the state, but then it starts to change next weekend as well. Of course it does.
Wednesday looks nice. I'll take
I do
that.
like seeing the 70 though.
That's a tea time day.
That's right. I know. We'll
All
go ahead
right.
and hit the links.
You should.
Okay, thanks, Beck.
Coming up in sports, a former star at BYU has a shot to wear a Jazz jersey, while the Cougars football squad riding not one but two backup QBs at South Florida this afternoon. The highlights, just a bit.
The NFL on Fox. Seahawks. Browns. Coverage begins Sunday at 11 on Fox 13.
Live's got big stars just for
you. Ooh, I think I just tore my dress.
Next live, Edward Norton from motherless Brooklyn, medalist Darren Brown, and fall home looks.
This live logo can spruce up any living room.
Monday at 10 a.m. on Fox 13. Fox 13, Scott McKay, part of Utah's #1 news team.
For tile, wood, and stone, come to the nationwide low price leader, Floor & Decor.
The prices are the lowest you will find.
Not only did we find lots of options, we were like, oh my gosh, it's so affordable.
It's affordable no matter what your budget.
I saved a lot of money at Floor & Decor. We came in under budget.
Way under budget.
Way under budget, yeah.
It's really the best pricing.
You're getting an incredible product for an amazing price.
Why wouldn't you want to save money and make your house look great?
I love to save money. Who doesn't like to save money?
Floor & Decor in Draper and Riverdale.
I swear to fulfill, to the best of my ability, this covenant.
Every doctor takes an oath, but not every doctor gets to practice it to its fullest.
I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures required of me.
There's a new healthcare system built around the way you live and the way our profession has sworn it to be.
And may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help.
May I be a steward
of the new healthcare.
It only takes a second to look down at a text. But in that amount of time, you've already traveled this far without looking, which could be a problem for you and them. So the Hyundai Elantra can read your text messages out loud, keeping your eyes where it matters most. The Hyundai Elantra, one of Hyundai's 10 IIHS top safety picks.
Now, get 0% APR financing for up to 72 months on the 2020 Elantra. Only at your local Hyundai dealer.
It's easy to replace your tub or shower when you choose Bath Fitter. Hi, I'm Bill Booman.
And I'm Rick Booman from Bath Fitter. Bath Fitter brings the showroom to your home and helps you choose the perfect tub or shower for you.
Installed in as little as 1 day by our Bath Fitter team.
Bath Fitter guarantees the best price and the best warranty.
From Logan to St. George, we serve all of Utah. Why call anyone else? You must call now for your free in-home estimate and receive up to $450 off. It's better with Bath Fitter.
Jaron Hall had a full 2 weeks to prep for his starting quarterback debut. BYU in general also had 2 weeks to try and figure out how to stop their 2-game losing skid. The Cougars also looking for the program's first win inside the state of Florida, and things starting out well at South Florida. Hall firing corner, tough coverage, but it's right on point anyway for Dax Milne. Blue led 16-7 at the break. The Bulls chipping back second half, but this is the Maple Mountain product once again, this time using his feet, cuts upfield and milkshakes a tackle, 29 yards on that score, 23-14 BYU. But then the green and gold took over offensively in the fourth. Jordan McLeod from short, Bulls within a deuce. Then next drive for the lead, Jordan Cronkright for South Florida's first lead of the game. Hall would leave injured late, so bring on the third string, Baylor Romney, to save the day, needing a touchdown, but short on fourth down right there. Romney would have one more shot, but his end zone ball knocked down this time, meaning for the second straight game now, the Cougars blow a halftime lead, dropping to 2-4 on the year. Some hoops news. Former BYU big Eric Miko was waived by the Sacramento Kings. The Highland native only laced up in one preseason game with Sacramento, totaling 4 points and 6 boards over 4 minutes of play. Meanwhile, better news for another former Coug. I reported last night that the Salt Lake Stars acquired the G League rights to Kyle Collinsworth. Well, today the Jazz announced that they have signed Collinsworth to a contract, meaning that he can participate in the rest of the preseason and even have a shot at making the club's opening day roster. Should he not, he'll remain with the Stars. And could the Cardinals really drop a second straight home game to start the NLCS? The Nats think so. Michael Taylor going yard early for Washington, and they would add a couple of more here off the bat of Adam Eaton in the eighth. Max Scherzer, 11 Ks. 3-1 the final. We've got the ALCS right here on the flip side. Welcome aboard, by the way.
Thank you.
Have you met Kirsten?
We have, yes. We shake hands all around.
We've talked.
You got to meet Brett,
Briefly,
too.
yes.
Yeah, he's a must.
Okay, and that means half-hour show for us because of good old baseball.
There you
too.
go.
So thanks for joining us for the short Live at 5.
We'll see you tonight after Yankees Astros right here on Fox 13. We'll see you tonight after the game for Fox 13 News at 9. Have a great night.
Modern Family, nightly
on Fox 13.
Right now.